Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if the entire future of the Lakers was being reshaped not by destiny, not by performance, but by a decision so unexpected, so quietly radical, it could either build a dynasty or dismantle one? What if the smile of a franchise icon was hiding a mistake that might haunt us for seasons to come? And above all, what if everything we thought we knew about Rob Pelinka's master plan was just a clever illusion? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the boldest, wildest, and most exhilarating updates from the heart of Laker Nation. This is the place where rumors become revelations and strategy meets suspense. Today's topic, Rob Pelinka reportedly abandoning a chance to pursue Luka Doncic to target Daniel Gaffford instead. Yup, you heard that right. Smash that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The NBA offseason is heating up fast, with the draft looming just weeks away and free agency right behind it. Front offices across the league are scrambling, but in the middle of all the chaos, one rumor has sent shockwaves through the fan base, not because of who the Lakers might be getting, but because of who they might be giving up on. Let's start by painting the full picture. There's been a monumental 4-team trade proposal circulating that includes the Lakers, Raptors, Bucks, and Bulls. The headline? Giannis Antetokounmpo to Toronto, a league-altering move on its own. But lurking in the fine print is a subplot that directly affects Los Angeles. The Lakers, under this proposal, would acquire Jakob Poeltl from Toronto and Lonzo Ball from Chicago. In exchange, they'd ship out Dalton Knecht, Jared Vanderbilt, Shake Milton, and Gabe Vincent. At first glance, this sounds like a calculated reshuffling of the deck. Poeltl brings size and stability at the 5. Lonzo returns to the team that drafted him, bringing with him defensive IQ, pace, and playmaking. But hold on, here comes the twist. Multiple insiders are now reporting that Rob Pelinka might be pulling the plug on this framework entirely. The reason? A sudden, sharp pivot toward Daniel Gaffford. Yes, the same Daniel Gaffford who helped power the Dallas Mavericks deep into the playoffs with his explosive dunks, rim protection, and relentless energy. The same Gafford who just signed a multi-year deal and cemented himself as one of the most exciting vertical threats in the game. So here's the question on every Laker fan's mind. Is Pelinka really choosing Daniel Gaffford over Luka Doncic? Let's not forget that for weeks now, rumors of Luka's growing frustration in Dallas have been swirling. Quiet murmurs from league executives, cryptic social media posts, unverified but persistent whispers suggesting that Doncic may be looking for a fresh start and that LA could be his dream destination. It felt like destiny. A once-in-a-generation offensive maestro, a young star with the killer instinct, the flair, and the gravitas to carry the torch from LeBron James when the king finally steps off the court. The vision was tantalizing, but according to this new direction, that vision is being put on ice, maybe permanently. So why Gafford? To answer that, we need to understand what Gafford actually brings, standing at 6'10" with a 7 feet to wingspan. The former Arkansas Razorback is the definition of an athletic big. In the Mavericks system, he played a critical role setting hard screens, rolling to the rim with authority, and anchoring the defense with timely blocks and contests. During the 2024 playoffs, his impact was undeniable. He averaged nearly 10 points, 6 rebounds, and close to the blocks per game, all while shooting over 70% from the field. And it's not just the numbers, it's the presence. Gafford is a difference maker in the paint. He forces opposing guards to second-guess every drive. He generates second-chance points. He brings juice. The Lakers haven't had that type of vertical threat since Dwight Howard's 2020 redemption tour. And even then, Dwight was older, slower, and far less explosive. Gafford is in his prime, and his game fits perfectly into a pick-and-roll heavy offense alongside LeBron and AD. But here's where things get even more interesting. This shift toward Gafford might not just be about basketball. It might be about philosophy. Rob Pelinka has long been known for bold swings, trading for Anthony Davis, adding Westbrook, a move that backfired, then pivoting hard at the 2023 trade deadline to rebuild a conference finals team almost overnight. But perhaps Pelinka is now embracing a different kind of risk, the risk of building with fit over flash. Could this mean that the Lakers front office is done chasing stars for star power's sake? Could it be that the lessons of 2022 and 2023 seasons derailed by poor roster construction, over-reliance on aging veterans, and lack of athleticism are finally being internalized? Insiders are speculating that this is part of a broader reimagining of the Lakers' core. Rather than stacking names and hoping the chemistry works, the plan may now be to assemble a team around LeBron and AD that complements their skills, reduces their workload, and prepares the franchise for a post-LeBron future. And Gafford, in that context, makes sense. He's young. He's energetic. He doesn't need the ball. He covers for AD's occasional absences and allows LeBron to roam freely, without constantly crashing the glass. Still, the elephant in the room looms large: Luka Doncic. If the Lakers truly had a shot, even a remote one, at bringing Luka into the fold, was it wise to walk away? Was the cost too high? Or was the front office simply spooked by the sheer scale of what such a move would demand? Because let's not sugarcoat it. Luka would have cost the Lakers everything: picks, prospects, depth, cap space, flexibility, and maybe, just maybe, Pelinka decided that a three-man super team built around Luka, LeBron, and AD wouldn't have enough left over to survive an 80-game grind or a deep playoff run. Or, and this is the truly tantalizing possibility, maybe he's playing the long game. Could it be that Gafford is step one in a multi-phase plan? A foundational piece to stabilize the defense, followed by a stealth pursuit of Luka next season. When the Mavericks might be even more vulnerable, fans are already trying to read the tea leaves. A Gafford acquisition could mean the Lakers are preparing for a too-big rotation that would remind some of the AD Boogie era in New Orleans. Or maybe it's a prelude to another surprise. Could a sign-and trade involving D'Angelo Russell and additional assets bring in another wing or shooter? And let's not ignore the emotional dimension here. The inclusion of Lonzo Ball in the original 14 proposal stirred something deep in the fanbase. A homecoming story, a redemption arc. The young star who was once the face of the franchise, returning older, wiser, and hungrier. There's something cinematic about that. But perhaps even that, like the Luka rumors, is being left on the cutting room floor. So where does this leave the Lakers, with decisions to make, risks to calculate, and a fanbase watching every move like hawks? Because with LeBron entering his 22nd season and the West more competitive than ever, the margin for error is razor thin. Every addition matters. Every subtraction matters more. The future of the Lakers might not hinge on a superstar trade, but on the ability to weave the right fabric from role players, culture, and chemistry. But what do you think about all of this? Personally, as a Lakers supporter, I believe there's a logic to adding a player like Gafford, but only if he's part of a broader roster retool that maximizes the twilight of LeBron's career and builds a bridge to a post-LeBron future. If this is the beginning of a deeper strategy, I'm in. If it's the end of the road, I'm worried. If you're as hyped as I am for Lakers News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the drama in purple and gold. Alright, so now we're looking at a Lakers front office that just might be rewriting its entire identity. A franchise long defined by big swings, bold names, and even bolder egos, now seems to be pivoting toward a grittier, more calculated version of itself. And that pivot, away from Luka Doncic and toward Daniel Gaffford, is sparking a storm of reactions, not just in LA, but across the entire NBA landscape. Let's dive deeper into what this means for the current roster and the future of this team, because let's be real, if Gafford is really coming in, it's not just about what he brings, it's about what it changes. LeBron James averaged 25.7 points, 8.3 assists, and 7.1 rebounds last season at age 39. That's not just productive, that's historic. But he also averaged 35.1 minutes per game, including long stretches and back-to-backs. That's unsustainable. Enter Gafford, a player who can absorb interior punishment, protect the rim, and finish easy buckets, the type of role that minimizes the physical toll on LeBron and maximizes his efficiency. And what about Anthony Davis? He was elite defensively last season, averaging 0.3 blocks and 1 point for steals per game. But anyone who's watched the Lakers closely knows AD thrives when he isn't the only big on the court. Gafford gives him that safety net, someone who can take on the bruisers, box out on switches, and allow AD to roam like the predator he is on the fence. But let's get into the juicy speculation. Could this really signal that Rob Pelinka is done chasing Luka? Because while Gafford's impact is real, Luka Doncic is a generational superstar. Last season, Luka averaged 33.9 points, 9.8 assists, and 9.2 rebounds per game. Those are MVP caliber numbers. Pairing him with LeBron and AD would have created a Hollywood headline. The next great Laker trio. Fans are wondering if this could be the turning point that defines Pelinka's tenure. Did he get cold feet? Was Luka ever truly available? Or is this about something deeper? A cultural shift within the Lakers organization? Some insiders believe that LeBron himself may have nudged the team in this new direction. He's always been vocal about team chemistry, about needing guys who know their role. With Gafford, there's no question. He's not looking to take 20 shots a night. He's there to defend, run, rebound, and dunk. He's there to do the dirty work. But, of course, any big decision like this sends shockwaves through the rotation. Let's talk about Bronny James. If the Lakers go with a more balanced lineup that includes Gafford, minutes can open up for young legs like Bronny, especially if they opt for pace-heavy second units. Could we see a lineup where Bronny and Austin Reeves run the backcourt with Gafford and Rui anchoring the front line? That's speed, youth, and defense. Reeves, by the way, continues to prove he's more than just a fan favorite. He's become a dependable 1-6-6 for type of guy who brings energy and clutch shooting. Giving him more freedom in the offense could be one of the hidden benefits of not going star hunting again. But let's not ignore the rivals in the West. The Thunder are surging. The Nuggets are still dangerous. The Mavericks, ironically, are the team Gafford is coming from. A team that nearly knocked off the top seed. If the Lakers are going to survive that gauntlet, they need more than just top-end talent. They need a team. And here's something that caught fire on social media. Magic Johnson weighed in on the Lakers offseason after the Gafford rumors broke. He tweeted, "Championships aren't just built on names. They're built on roles, hustle, and heart. If Gafford brings that, I'm all in." That endorsement alone has shifted some fan perception. Meanwhile, Kendrick Perkins stirred the pot with a clip that went viral. If the Lakers pass on Luka for Daniel Gaffford, somebody better be ready to explain that one. That's either genius or sabotage. It's that kind of split opinion that's fueling heated debates among the fan base. Reddit threads are exploding. Analysts are dissecting rotations. Some believe this is the perfect evolution for a franchise that's learning from past mistakes. Others think it's a cowardly retreat from greatness. And what about Lonzo Ball? His name was tied to the original 14 trade before the Gafford pivot. That had its own emotional gravity. The idea of Lonzo returning to LA, older, more experienced, battle-tested after injuries, felt poetic. Fans saw a redemption arc, but maybe that story will have to wait. Instead, Gafford's arrival would send a different kind of message, that the Lakers are betting on stability, physicality, and grit. But even if that's the plan, it comes at a cost. Dalton Knecht, the rookie many have pegged as a microwave scorer off the bench, could be on the way out in any version of these deals. Jared Vanderbilt, the defensive ace who struggled offensively but brought hustle, may also be sacrificed. And that's not to mention Gabe Vincent and Shake Milton, players whose roles were inconsistent, but who brought veteran presence. So what happens next? Could this all be a smokescreen, a misdirection? Some insiders believe that Pelinka could still circle back to Luka if Dallas collapses next season. Others think this is about setting up a bigger play, potentially packaging Gafford and assets in a future deal when the trade window reopens. And here's a curveball. What if LeBron James is preparing for his final seasons and wants to leave behind a functional team, not a gutted one, something that Bronny could step into, something AD could carry, something sustainable? It's hard to ignore that angle, because when you look at the moves being made or avoided, they feel deliberate, not desperate. That's a shift. Now, as the season heats up, what do you believe will define LA's destiny, secrecy or transparency? Personally, as a die-hard Lakers supporter, I believe that if Pelinka is truly building a system instead of a spectacle, then this could be the beginning of something durable, even if it's not glamorous. But if we've walked away from Luka for nothing, that might haunt us for years. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts, and subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report so you never miss another explosive update.